Alchemist, the hit series made in 2001, selling over 80 million copies worldwide, being a series dear to many people's hearts around the world. In today's video, the thing that I do want to talk about is the journey of the Elric brothers and what they go through throughout the series and their general ideologies. First couple chapters of the manga, we see Edward and his brother Al go on several missions to get a Philosopher's Stone. The main couple chapters drill it into our heads that they are looking for a Philosopher's Stone to get their bodies back. But each time they go to different places, they go to Lior, different places, they fail each time, but they always beat the bad guy up. And also we see something else brewing in the background with lust and gluttony with King Cornello. But back to what I was saying with the brothers always defeating the bad guy, and made them feel like they could solve whatever problem came their way, and they kind of felt like prodigies because they were doing so much problem solving and beating all these guys, but they just couldn't get the Philosopher's Stone. It kept on slipping away from them until we run into their first confrontation the brothers really face. Then we realize how much of children they really are. The first confrontation that I do want to talk about is the Nina situation. We all know Ed and Al go to Shao Tucker's house so they could learn more about bioalchemy. When they go there, Shao Tucker seems like a trusting father, and he's just trying to take care of his kids, and he had a little sob story about his wife leaving them because they were poor, and how he uses his alchemy to take care of his family, and he does it for the enjoyment of his work. Then we see Ed and Al. They go into Shao Tucker's research room. They're studying away, and then Al runs into Nina, and they instantly click. When they click, we see a more childish side from both of the brothers, something we haven't seen throughout the whole show so far, and it's just a good different type of pace. It was really enjoyable to see because everything before this, we see them in a very intense environment, and they're always around grown-ups. You're always around Roy, or when they're fighting people like King Cornello, or the gold mine situation with, there's so many different times where we see them with grown-ups, and this is the first time we see them with somebody younger than them, and this is like a little sister figure to them. And they're playing with Nina because Nina says that she gets lonely recently because her father is always busy because he has to come up with something big for his state exam, and something's luring within Shao Tucker. We know that Ed and Al leave. They come back the next day, and we all know what sadly happens to Nina. When Nina becomes a Chimera, this is the first time we see the brothers face true conflicts within themselves. With the situation, we see stick with them throughout the rest of the series. We constantly see them bring up Nina multiple times throughout the series because it really affected them. Not physically, but 100% mentally. This is the first personal situation we see the brothers in, where they realize that the thing that they love the most, alchemy, could be used for very bad things. A little thing I wanted to throw in before I go past the Nina situation is the 2003 version of Fullmetal Alchemist and how they handled the Nina situation. In this version, we see the brothers were a lot more closer to Nina, where we see Nina having a lot more screen time and feeling more like a little sister compared to the manga and Brotherhood, with her experiencing the whole state alchemist exam with Ed and Al, because 2003 version was different than Brotherhood in the manga. Ed actually went through a whole exam he had to go through. He was showing off his alchemy to King Bradley. He was doing way more stuff than we seen in Brotherhood in the manga. Brotherhood in the manga got straight to the point, but they gave the exam a whole fledged out thing inside the 2003 version. So after the brothers try to get back on their feet after the Nina situation, they run into another problem. Not really an emotional problem, but a physical one. They run into Scar. This interaction is the first where we see Ed and Al not get the win. This was another realization moment for the brothers back to back, while Scar makes light work of both of the brothers to the point where Ed was just accepting death and he was telling Scar to just take him instead of Al because he knew no way that he was going to win that fight. Back to back moments where we get some realization how these two are still kids and how much they need to work on. Next, I want to talk about their ideologies. The Elric brothers have a pretty good hearted but naive ideal that they go by throughout the series. Basically coming down to they will not kill, does not matter how bad somebody is or what they have done. It is very good to think about it, but it just shows how naive they are and really shows that they are kids at the end of the day. Their ideals even sometimes almost get them killed, like when Ed had a clear chance to kill Kimberly because Kimberly just got out of prison. He's been rusty. Ed is clearly leagues above him, but Ed almost loses his life in the process because he won't kill Kimberly. And then we know the beam goes inside Ed's stomach and he's losing too much blood and he almost dies. Or it's good out of their ideals, like when Zampano and Jerso were caught by Ed and Al, and they were just telling Ed and Al to kill them before Scar took Winry away with the big plan they came up with. And Al refuses and tell them that a life is a life and how they should seek out to find a way to fix their bodies, which gives them motivation at the end of the series to go with Al to Shing to find a way to get their bodies back. It is a double-edged sword in a lot of different ways. But the point that I'm trying to make is that these are still two very young kids. At the end of the day, they act like grown-ups because they have so much responsibility and weight on them. And I see people a lot talk about how their ideals of not killing people is too naive or people get mad at it, but without these ideals, these characters wouldn't be the characters that we loved. And I think it makes sense for them because without this, I don't think they would feel as kids as how we know them to be. I feel like if they had a more rational ideal, they would feel too grown up, if that makes sense. That was the point I was trying to make, and how those two major situations that happened to them prove to us how they're still kids and why their ideals fit that they're still kids. But let me know how you guys feel about this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace. On.